So as long as other people record, I think we're
Yep.
good.
All right,
Okay.
let's go for it.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Oh, all right. So we're doing this is a professional sports team analysis. I'm Mason,
I'm Tristan.
No, I'm Caesar.
and then we're gonna be doing the Milwaukee Brewers today. So
Oh my goodness. Um, there we go.
yes.
So the foundation origins, the team was originally founded in 1969 as an expansion team in the American League, not the National League. They were called the Seattle Pilots. They had a horrible first season financially, and they were not good. So they were moved to Milwaukee in 1970 to what used to be the Braves Stadium, the Atlanta Braves, and they took on the name of the minor league team there, the Brewers. And Alan Selig was the man who bought the Seattle Pilots originally in 1969 and moved them to Milwaukee. So in the early years, they had a few star players, Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, who is pictured. And Robin Yount heralded the beginning of a slow turnaround for the Brewers, which was propelled in 1978 when Paul Molitor joined the team, and he was a designated hitter. So the Brewers ran off three consecutive winning seasons before claiming their first division title in 1981. And they won an American League pennant in 1982, which advanced them to the World Series for what would be the only time they were seen in the World Series. They lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 7, unfortunately. So ownership and management, Bud Selig, he was the man who originally bought them and moved them to Milwaukee. He owned the club for 35 years, and he ended up selling the club to Mark Attanasio for an estimated $223 million. And Mark Attanasio is the current principal owner of the Brewers and has been since January 13th of 2005. Championships and achievements. So Brewers have never won a World Series title, obviously. They only went the one time, and only four other MLB teams have that record of never winning. The best season the Brewers have ever had was 2011 when they went 96-66, but lost in the National League Championship, which is the semifinal. So that's what you win that game, you go to the World Series. And they lost again to the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 6. Ryan Braun, he was the Northern League MVP in 2011 with a batting average of 597. He hit 33 home runs, 111 RBIs, 109 runs scored, and 33 bases stolen. Very impressive. Major rivalries. So, from what I understand, the Chicago Cubs are their main rivals, and not necessarily the players. Even it's more on the fan side. So it's known as the I-94 rivalry because that's the interstate you take to get to both stadiums, and fans from each team will take a train or car, whatever, bike, to the opposing stadium to haggle with the players and the fans. So, fan base and community engagement. The Brewers have had two notable initiatives that are heavily involved with community outreach and engagement. They have the Play Ball initiative, which encourages young people to play baseball and softball to help kids get active, make new friends. And another initiative the Brewers take part in is Beyond the Diamond. That's when players, coaches, the players' wives, and the front office staff help the community with four areas of outreach. So health, education, recreation, and basic needs. And this is during their regular season from May to August every year. So Robin Yount, as we talked about earlier, he played for the Brewers from 1974 to 1993 and holds almost every offensive record other than home runs, and they retired as number 19 in 1999. Ryan Braun started in his first game in 2007 and was a star player for 6 years, getting the Brewers very close to the World Series in 2011. Global reach. So the Brewers have yet to play in an international game. Um, their international fans are always a part of sports. Um, The Brewers have a couple players from other countries. They have Willie Adams, Louis Urias, Omar Narvaez, and they're from the Caribbean, South America, and Mexico, respectively. And they work closely with organizations that have ties to Latino communities throughout the Milwaukee area. Adoption to changes. So they have a new license plate recognition parking system that allows fans to prepay for a parking spot and scan a QR code when parked for a better, more efficient game day experience. They selected ANC to enhance their digital signage operations and advertising at American Family Field. And ANC installed an 8 millimeter LED digital display in both center and right field. That's what's pictured here. And then they also got 4 millimeter LED home plate and baseline displays and a new broadcast control room, which I believe is still being built. And then contributions beyond sports. So some examples of philanthropic endeavors that the Brewers do are fundraising for nonprofit groups, the Play Ball Initiative, the Brewers Alumni Association, Brewers Families, RBI Athlete of the Month, and youth baseball clinics.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Brewers Stadium. It's American Family Field. The construction inception. American Family Field, home of the Brewers, opened to 2001, replacing their previous stadium, which was Milwaukee County Stadium, which closed in 2000. The main motivation behind American Family Field was to not only give the team but the fans something to be excited about. Milwaukee has one of the smallest markets according to the MLB.com website. So the motivation for creating a unique ballpark was to create something that was to be remembered. And they created a main feature through the ballpark by having a retractable roof that's fan shaped, so you can have natural grass on the field, no turf. You can also be able to watch the game in any element, whether it's a little cool, so you can have the roof open, or if it's really cold and raining, like it is in Milwaukee, you can have it closed. So it's pretty cool. And then the location accessibility, like Tristan said, it's easily accessible to I-94, which made it a really good commuter ballpark for people who are traveling on the interstate. It's also located downtown, from downtown Milwaukee in minutes. You can also walk or use your bicycle because there's a state trail called Hank Aaron State Trail that provides a connection from American Family Field all the way to Lake Michigan, which is pretty cool. And the interstate and the trail makes it easily accessible for different parts of Wisconsin, like Green Bay, Madison. So that's cool. And then capacity and seating, American Family Field can sit up to 42,000 fans. It's in the top 15 for all MLB stadiums. They have multiple all-inclusive clubs that I'll get into a little bit later. And the Brewers label their sections by hundreds. So the bottom level seats go from 100 all the way to 442 in the sections, as you can see on the right. Technological advancements. Tristan also touched up on this a little bit. The Brewers installed a pair of new LED scoreboards, both center and right field, as shown to the right. Both measure up to 12,000 feet, making it one of the largest scoreboards in the MLB. Also added electronic signage behind home plate. They partner with ANC, which is a technological and advertising company that works with professional teams to improve the overall viewing experience for fans, and they have worked with other teams like the Dodgers and Nationals. These enhancements will improve the fan experience because the scoreboards will make the viewing experience easier for fans and have different kind of contests and stuff like that. So it's cool. Sustainability and green initiatives. American Family Field has replaced their light fixtures with LED light bulbs, helping reduce energy by up to 30%. Also have multiple programs for kids in surrounding schools. So they host like multiple events to share the importance of recycling and sustainability. American Family Field is also LEED certified, which is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. I know FGCU has a couple of buildings that are LEED certified, and basically what this means is that the ballpark is acknowledged for being a symbol of sustainability for architecture. So then historical significance. First pitch at the game in 2001 was thrown by George W. Bush and their founder, Bud Selig, which was pretty cool. And in 2008, the Milwaukee Brewers were on the verge of ending a 26-year drought of making the postseason. It came down to the final day of the postseason. They needed the Mets to lose, and they needed to win, and the Brewers won. So they just needed the Mets to lose, and they put the ending of the Mets game on the big jumbotron, and then the Mets lost, and the whole fan base went crazy. So ultimately, the Brewers ended their job making the postseason, which was pretty cool. And then adaptability and multi-use. American Family Field offers a wide variety of facilities. They can host concerts, different like they've had Billy Joel, the Smashing Pumpkins, and Sting, which is pretty cool. Also have a conference room, that multiple conference rooms that can host up to 150 people. You can rent those out throughout the year. They also have a couple of golf simulators along with two bars that you can rent out during the off season and during the season, which is pretty cool. So they're bringing in revenue, even when they're not playing games during the regular season. And so yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the fan experience and comfort. Like I said, Brewers have a lot of different clubs they offer, and they actually add pavilions for fans to tailgate before games because in Wisconsin, tailgating is a big part of sports culture. You got the Packers, University of Wisconsin. I mean, it's big. I know because I had family who lived in Wisconsin, so they wanted to kind of create that vibe for the Brewers and their ballpark. So they added different kind of bars outside the stadium. So when you are tailgating, you're able to go to the bars and like have a good time before the game even starts, which is cool. Also have multiple playgrounds for kids and toddlers, and they have a part of the ballpark called the Slug Experience, which talks about how and the inspiration for him bringing professional baseball to the state of Milwaukee. So, and then security and safety measures. They have multiple safety measures posted on the Brewers website. It's where I got some of this information from. Shows you a list of prohibited items. Also have security screenings like every ballpark throughout each entrance, and also have a way of communicating if there's an emergency. You can text the word crew to a phone number that they'll give you, and you type in your seat number. So if you can't find someone who's part of the staff, you can just text that number and someone will come over and help you, whatever is needed. So, and then facilities and amenities have over 40 concession stands throughout the ballpark. On the left is called J. Leikenhugel's Barrel Yard. I butchered that, but it's a brewery inside American Family Field that sells only local brews, so it's a great way to support local businesses. They also have 33 restrooms for both men and women, and then the multiple areas that for VIP experience for fans, including the Johnsonville Party Deck, Brew Room, Toyota Territory, Vizzy Loft. All these have premium cushion seating, all you can eat buffet, bar, all you can eat drinks. So it's a pretty cool experience.
All right, I'm gonna be covering Milwaukee Brewers sponsors. So the main sponsorships and partnerships that collaborate with the Brewers include Coca-Cola, which is the exclusive soft drink partner, Miller Lite, official beer partner of the Brewers, Northwestern Mutual, official financial planning partner and Jersey Patch sponsor, Chick-fil-A, Brewers Community Foundation Leadership Council, which is made up of the corporate partners, including American Family Insurance, Aurora Healthcare, etc., that support the Brewers Community Foundation, and American Family Insurance, which is a corporate partner and member of the Brewers Community Foundation Leadership Council. The Brewers also teams up with various corporate partners who, quote, are committed to support numerous nonprofit organizations. Sponsorships, durations, and contracts. So durations per sponsorship will vary on the type of sponsorship, but will usually be multi-year sponsorships with the Brewers. For example, the Brewers have a naming rights deal with the American Family Insurance that runs up until 2035. The financial impact. As of now, the Brewers have 96 sponsorship deals. It is estimated that the team's sponsorships and partnerships combine close to 1.61 billion US dollars. With this type of value, the Brewers is always seeking hundreds of millions for stadium renovations and lobbying to secure public funding from other sponsors. The Brewers also recently made a couple of player acquisitions and roster transactions, such as signing an 8-year, $82 million contract with Jackson Chourio. Player endorsements. As of recent, no player on the Milwaukee Brewers holds an endorsement deal with any brand. However, the only player to hold an endorsement deal in the Brewers was Ryan Braun, who played left field for the Brewers from 2007 up until 2020. In 2014, Braun, who was the National League MVP in 2011, was endorsed by 3and2, which is a baseball and software footwear and apparel company, in which he wore cleats and apparel exclusively from the company for a season. Because of Braun's previous suspension from the league for violating the MLB's anti-drug agreement, and 3 and 2 being a small independent company at the time, the endorsement did not do much exposure for the team's overall brand. Alignment with brand values. The Brewers are only dedicated to work with sponsors who share certain values and missions, as the team claims to be a quote, family and faithful followers drawn together from all walks of life, connected by a common passion. The Brewers and its sponsors rely on the values of passion, accountability, teamwork, and stewardship as they continue to hold strong relationships. The Brewers also holds the mission of taking pride in the organization and communities, which is a general mission for most of its sponsors. And there has not been any conflicts with the team's image and value with its current sponsors. So the marketing, activation, and fan engagement. For the most part, the Brewers sponsors activate their partnerships during games and events by holding charitable events, deals, and free prizes for the fans during games. For example, the first 150 fans to make a $20 donation at the Alex's Lemonade stand in the Brewers Stadium will receive an exclusive photo card of either a Brewers alumni or other notable Wisconsin athlete. And another example is fans can claim a free Chick-fil-A sandwich if the Brewers score in the fourth inning. It has been stated that this promotion has been a fan favorite for the Brewers fans, as Chick-fil-A has included other giveaways for its fans, such as free playoff tickets and free beer at a restaurant called the Drunk Uncle. Jersey, sponsor, and logo. So the only sponsor and company logo that the Brewers have featured on their uniform is from Northwestern Mutual, which I previously stated is financial service company based in Milwaukee. The logo was added around 2023 in the 2023 season, and it is featured on the Brewers sleeves in the team's navy blue and white colors. Unfortunately, the Brewers president of business operations, Rick Schlesinger, stated that the patch on the uniform is not as prominent as it is in English football, where the sponsor's name is more important than the team itself. Global reach and exposure. The Brewers have some sponsors that are international, giving them an edge on the global reach and exposure. These sponsors include Strauss, which is a German clothing company specialized in workwear, protective gear, and safety footwear, and has a multi-year partnership with the Brewers. And Toyota, which everybody knows is a Japanese car company that provides certain sweepstakes to Brewers fans and have an opportunity to win a Toyota vehicle. Sponsorship changes and terminations. So as I mentioned before, after Ron Braun's PED suspension in 2013, a handful of sponsors ended the relationship with Braun and the Brewers. Big names that ended their sponsorships include Nike, Wilson, and Muscle Milk. The New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who then played for the Green Bay Packers at the time, was a co-partner with Braun at a restaurant based in Milwaukee, and he ultimately ended that partnership as Rodgers claimed that Braun lied to him about his PED use.
So these are billion-dollar contract or broadcast deals. Um, so local broadcast deals during the 2022 to 24 seasons. Bally Sports has been producing the Brewers games locally and through their app, so anyone worldwide, internationally can watch them. You'd have to have a subscription, so it's $20 monthly and $100 annually. In early October of this year, the Milwaukee Brewers announced that they will be ending their relationship with Bally, and the MLB will be taking over the production of their games locally. Broadcast reach and viewership. So the most recent numbers show that the average views on a Bally per Milwaukee game are 35, 40,000. So same as in-person attendance. And the viewership for a mid-tier team like the Brewers doesn't change too much because they aren't getting wild card games or making it to the NL championship or anything crazy. But that being said, games against rivals like the Cubs and the Cardinals they're going to be most watched. And then broadcasting revenue. So the worth of the Brewers' Bally contract in the 2024 season was 33 million, and money earned from the broadcasting deal allows the Brewers to put money into everything else, like player contracts, merchandise, and some philanthropic initiatives. And then, so Bally was contracted locally and nationally for the Brewers, and their contract was renewed twice in the 23 and 24 season. The factors that go into deciding if a team should renew a broadcast deal or not include if anyone else is available, the price, and the video quality for their viewers.
All right. Broadcast enhancements. In the upcoming years, the Brewers are expected to part ways with Bally Sports, with MLB taking over their broadcast, and will be gain several advantages over Bally Sports. The elimination of blackouts, which were a major concern with the direct-to-consumer streaming option, and better integration with MLB's offerings, such as being able to watch games directly from MLB.tv game day or at the bat app, making viewing games much easier. Fan engagement and broadcasting. With MLB taking over Brewers broadcasting from Bally Sports, MLB plans on implementing new technology in its broadcasting, allowing its fans to view features normally reserved for national broadcasting, like on-field cameras and mics, in-game interviews, in a wide variety of camera angles, allowing fans to get a true sense of the game. And international broadcast. Although the Brewers broadcasts are generally aired in the US and in Canada, there are some streaming platforms that offer international availability. For example, with collaborating with MLB.tv, viewing Brewers games will be available in most countries around the world, offering live streams of all MLB games. With international TV network, some countries will have the opportunity to view Brewers and other MLB games through local broadcasters or networks with MLB broadcasting deals. For example, in Japan, games are available through Nippon TV and other local broadcasters. Since MLB has a huge following in the country, not much info has been published with Milwaukee Brewer fans or international Milwaukee Brewer fans as recent, but by increasing its broadcast internationally, the Brewers can hope to increase its fans overseas.
And then digital broadcasting and streaming. The MLB is introducing digital broadcasting through the MLB Network app, which can be you can watch all teams' games on your mobile devices for $6 a month, which is a pretty good deal. Other leagues have done this, like NBA League Pass, where you can do the same thing, access games on your phone. Can have a positive influence on the Brewers fans because some might not live in the area and have access to the games through cable. So watching on the MLB Network app will be able to keep fans connected with the Brewers, which is cool. Um, And then national broadcast deals, they do not have not the Brewers directly do not have any national broadcast deals. However, the MLB is partnered with multiple programs like ESPN, Fox, and CBS. So if the Brewers do get a primetime game, they'll be shown on one of these sites. If not, they'll be shown on the MLB Network app. Or they have their own. They're going to be launching their own service called Brewers TV to give fans access to watch games through their TV cable provider through Brewers TV. Um, Difference between local and national broadcast is basically the reach of the fans. Brewers don't really play a lot of national televised games like ESPN on ESPN because they do not have a lot of fans outside of the state of Wisconsin. However, a team like the Dodgers would get a lot of nationally televised games because they have one of the most popular teams in baseball and they have a great following with Shohei Ohtani and overseas in Japan. So, and then cross promotion and content sharing. Brewers have multiple forms of additional content outside their traditional games of broadcast. One of their main forms of content is a podcast called Brewers Unfiltered. They have three hosts who are journalists who have followed the Brewers for a very long time. And this is beneficial for teams and broadcasters because it gives fans a different perspective and insight on how to look at their team. And podcasts are becoming a lot popular, so this is a great way to kind of add on to that market for them. So, and then yeah, sources.
Thank you, everybody.
All
All
right,
right.
thanks, guys. I gotta go.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.